Hey, you guys, I thought with Easter coming up and Passover this weekend, it would be helpful for me to share some things I've learned, actually 3 particular steps I'm going to share with you about how I moved from eating all the things on Easter, like the Easter bunnies, the chocolate, the Cadbury eggs, the jelly beans, all the stuff, even if I didn't really want it. It was like right in front of me and it's there all day, so I would eat it. And I did that for years. It was like this license to just go hog wild because we're celebrating. So some of you who don't know me, I'm Dana Lee. I am the founder of RealFit.tv, and I'm the creator of the Real Fit Mindset course, and more importantly, my mentorship program around the mindset course, where I help women break free from the food obsession and all that diet dogma so they can create the life that they really want to live and live in freedom. So I wanted to share some insight into these 3 steps I took that are pretty simple, but they're not necessarily that easy. So just give me a moment here as I share this video into a couple of my groups. I want to make sure that everyone's able to get in on the conversation. If you are here with me live, please type in and say hello. Hit a thumbs up on the video. Let me know that you're here. And of course, you're always welcome to add in on the conversation. If you got questions about this or anything around food or celebration or anything like that, I would absolutely, we can contribute to the conversation. I would like to add on to what I was already planning on sharing today. So, all right, and as usual, Facebook buries everything, so I'm trying to find my video here. I know I'm live. Okay, so, come on, where are you? All right, let's get into it. I will share this video later because I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's get to the goods. Okay, so first of all, these 3 things, really, we talk a lot about willpower in controlling what we're eating, and if I just had more willpower, then I could, resist the temptation and all of that. And honestly, it's not willpower. Willpower is not what you need. What you need is willingness. Willingness. That is what we're talking about. We've got to have willingness around changing our behavior, changing our thoughts, and then therefore changing our outcome, which actually I just said that a little flipped around. It's changing our thoughts, changing our behavior, and then changing our outcome. Okay, so step number 1 is that you have to have a willingness to admit that you've been fed a bunch of bullshit by the diet industry, that there's a lot that we just kind of have grown to accept because maybe there's been some, mother figures in our life or women in our life that had behaved a certain way around food and weight loss, and that it just sort of became normal. And I know for a fact that one of the first steps I took was having a willingness to even look into that. Like, what's going on there? Is that actually even, where did that come from? So by being inquisitive about it and wondering where did I get these ideas? How did they form? I was able to see another path and another way to look at things. Because I, really fed into that for many, many years, but it really backfired on me. And I'm sure you are experiencing the same thing, that it is not something that gives you more freedom when you've got restriction and rules and all of that stuff. It actually creates more of a problem, and maybe binge eating or all these weird diet rules and things where there is Easter or a holiday, and then it's just create a just license to just go overboard and not be able to stop. So I think step number 1 really has to be, let's look at what the diet culture helped to cultivate in ourselves. So that's step 1. Step number 2 is be willing to question your own thinking. So it's not just about what the diet industry told you or your family told you or other role models or institutions or whatever. It's about your almost this is the personal responsibility part of it that I teach my clients, is the the part that we have allowed ourselves to buy into that, that is right and that's correct and that's the best way to live. So I know that when I started questioning my thinking, like, wow, I bought into this. Is this even true? Is this the best way to approach it? Instead of attacking like, my weight or my body or the food and have it external, I changed that. And I started thinking about, and understanding throughout my own learning process that the thoughts are what create the behavior. So when you're going into Easter, going into any celebration, and you have, these like tables full of appetizers and food and everything's there, and the Easter, the baskets full of candy and the dishes of candy everywhere, and you look at that, and in your mind you're kind of saying, I can't have that. I'm not allowed to have that. But today's a good reason to have that. It's in your mind that creates that. And then therefore the behavior comes after it. So it makes sense to step back a little bit and address the thought process. So if you start to think differently, so really my thought is, I can have all this food. That's the way I live. I live it every single day. And I even, I have next to me, this is chocolate I have in my house all the time. Peanut butter cups, I have chocolate covered almonds, which this is funny, I brought this out. I have chocolate covered almonds, almost empty, and then another one. I clearly forgot I had it. I forgot I had chocolate in the cabinet. I bought another one. So I'm gonna consolidate that. I have a jar full of broken up dark chocolate, just for pure chunks of chocolate. I leave it in my house all the time, because I have allowed myself to I gave myself permission, and this is step number 3. I gave myself permission to be my best self, and including in that is to make all the choices, to have all the choices. And when I have all the choices, I have all the power. So that is really, really important to get anytime you're going into any event with food. I've given myself full-on permission not just to eat all the food so it loses its power. It doesn't have power. I can have it whenever I want. It's not willpower. It's the willingness to give myself permission not only to eat all the food, but to also live my best life. To be the person I really, really want to be. That's the most powerful thing. It's the 3rd step. Hey, Terry, what's up? It's the 3rd step, but it's almost I feel like it kind of needs to be number 1. But I shared it in the video I did the other day, is that, this is not linear work. This is up and down and up and down. There's a lot of overlap, and we learn this and then go into our old ways of being and our old behaviors, and then, wait a second, I don't want that. I'm going to choose differently, and learning compassion throughout that process. So the willingness to be who you really want to be is really at the heart of that. And I really understood that the whole, I felt like I had no control over food, or I could just, I just went hog wild, and then I would feel sick. I'd feel physically sick, mentally ill, beating myself up. Why did I do that? And countless times over the years I felt that. And it wasn't until I started looking at I had a willingness to look at what was going on in the diet industry and what kind of line of crap I was fed over the years. Number 2, questioning my own thinking, my willingness to question my thinking, my willingness to be wrong. That is huge. I was so tired of having to be right about a certain way to eat. I realized how controlling that was in my life, and it backed me into a corner. So I was willing to be wrong, and that was very freeing. And finally, and most importantly, I gave myself permission. I was willing to give myself permission to be the best person I could be. And that had to do with giving myself lots of choices. And when I give myself lots of choices, the power lies in I now can actually choose what serves me best. So I did share these are simple things. They are simple. The willingness, that's simple. I'm not saying that it's easy work. This is stuff that requires practice. You go into Easter weekend and Passover, and it'll be an interesting way for you to take these 3 steps and bring them into your experience of the holiday and see how you can navigate that. Like, what would my life be like if I had chocolate in my house all the time? I can order Cadbury eggs from Amazon whenever the hell I want. I don't have to wait for Easter. I can eat all the things whenever I want. And what ends up happening is it loses its power. You're like, oh, but I can have that whenever I want. So then you're sitting down and the bowls are all there and you're like, yeah, but I can have it whenever I want. I'm telling you, people, this is super powerful stuff. This is it. And you're like, nah, I don't really want that. Or you have one and you're like, yeah, that's like sugary, grainy, and it doesn't even taste good anymore, or, Peeps are coming around, it's like, and again, you could probably order Peeps all year round. Come on now. There's always someone selling Peeps. You don't have to wait for Easter. Or maybe, this is a little gross, but I'm going to share with you guys. My favorite time to eat Peeps is when they're like a year or 2 old. I know, stale Peeps, but I don't like them when they're fresh. I like them when they're like chewy. So I'm like, so they come out on the table. I'm like, I don't even want them. They gotta ripen. They've got to ripen those Peeps. So I do understand that this is not easy work. And this is why I'm opening up my mentorship program to guide a select group of women who are ready to look at these things, ready to kind of look at diet culture like, that's interesting. I bought into that. And where did I learn that? And is that even right? And what about my willingness to change my thought process? Like, it's tough to do that stuff on your own. You can absolutely. I always say in my videos, absolutely. Terry said Peep croutons. Kinda, but they're not really hard. Like, not to that point. They're not 10 years old. They're like 2 years old. And in the same way with candy canes around Christmas time. Steve laughs at me. I keep candy canes in a glass cup. Maybe this is too much information for you guys, and I was just like, leave them there for years, and then they get like chewy, and like the inside is hard and the outside's like chewy. I'm a weirdo. I've always been like a very, even when I was a kid, like a picky eater. I like things a certain way, and I don't know, I just do. But even when I do have that, I'm like, okay, I have like a bite of a Peep, or sometimes I don't even want the whole thing. Like bite just the ears off, and then I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm good. But I do understand though that this stuff is tough to navigate on your own. So I am opening up my mentorship program in a matter of like a week or so. Wait, when is the deadline? So you got to be in before April 26th. The program officially begins on the 29th. And it is specifically to get yourself free from this. Like, instead of like going on to the next diet that you think is going to help you with your Easter, or help you with, as we go into the next holidays, then we got Memorial Day weekend, and we got all the barbecues all over the summer, and then we've got, it's on to every single time. Then you got birthday celebrations and weddings. And how do you navigate all that stuff? This is how you do it with these 3 steps. This is how you do it. And when you break free from that, rather than thinking about, I'm going to spend money on supplements and another diet, and how about you invest in your thought process that will forever be with you and transform you? You're transforming from the inside out. That's what I'm offering here, and that's my invitation to you, is that this is lasting, foundational work for you to be the best person you can be, far beyond talking about your weight and talking about calories and food issues. It's bigger, more expansive than that, because you are bigger than that. You are meant for bigger things in your life. You've got a purpose, you've got a calling, and maybe it's scary to step into that, but it is important that I know it's within you. This is the interesting lesson about anyone who has a hard time with food issues or with their weight or themselves. Honestly, the whole trip, the whole journey is all about you learning how to love and accept yourself. That's why it's in its place, because the entire thing is all about where's the work that needs to happen in order for me to love and accept myself. So if that, and that is for everyone. That's work for everyone to do and for everyone to practice. So I am going to, if I can find the video on my Facebook page, I'm like, oh man, Facebook. I want to share my link for you to book into my schedule so we can talk one-on-one if you feel like you got questions for me, or you want to share a bit about your story, like, is this going to work for me? Maybe you have questions about the program. So I have space in my schedule next week before the enrollment period closes, and I'd love to talk to you. So I'm going to share that link, and I'm also going to share the link with the program details. So that way you can take a look at what does the mentorship include, and what all do I get? And again, I kept it as simple as possible. It's the framework around my mindset course. If you're like a student of life, like if you really love to learn and you like the structure, you enjoy the structure of school, then you will enjoy this program, because it is laid out in a way for you to be a student again and enjoy the process of learning. And you're being the student of you. It's the student of, learning more about yourself and reconnecting with your identity. And I'm having a really hard time with technology today. My Facebook page is not coming up for me to be able to share this link. So I would be honored to work with you on this, because it is a simple program, a step by step going through. There's live Zoom calls every single week for accountability and for connecting with other women who are dealing with the same things. And it goes over a 15-week period. So it's, it gives you, even though there's 12 modules, there's a couple weeks in there that you get a little resting period of making sure that, you can review your notes. Maybe you want to go back and implement. Maybe you feel like you need to get caught up on a couple things. So I make sure that I give time within our work together for you to be able to do that. And then you have the ability to go back and do that work whenever you want, because it's your lifetime member. You have that access forever. And as I shared my video I did the other day, there's actually like 8 women who have previously worked in my my mentorship program, and they're going to do it again this next round. That is really exciting. And it's not because the work doesn't work. It's because we're only able to get the information we need in like the dose that we're ready to do it. So you're not going to get everything all at once. It's way too overwhelming. It's not really how it works. You're going to adopt, and you'll be open to the information as you're ready to learn it. So when you go through it and then go through it again, you're just able to go a little deeper and then a little deeper. And every time you go through it, you're going through it with a new perspective, like almost like a new set of eyes. You're moving into another chapter in your life, if you will. So then you go through the work again, and it's like, oh, wow, okay. And I never realized, hey, Andrea, what's up? So Andrea's she's doing the work with us again too. So it's really awesome to have this group of women who have done the work, and then also that, you'll be with women who are doing it for the first time. So I invite you to be part of that. I would absolutely love to work with you. Okay, so hopefully these tips today helped you gain some perspective on how to go into Easter weekend, Passover. How are you going to address food and have it all available, and yet, feel like you're not going to go off the rails. And I'm not going to say that you're going to go into this holiday weekend and have you have these 3 thoughts and then voila, waving the magic wand, that it's cured. No, because of step 1 that I shared. There's all these beliefs about our diet culture that we've bought into. And after years and years of believing that, there has to be a time period to start disassembling it and breaking it down and questioning it. So all I'm inviting you to do for this weekend, for the holiday, is to be your willingness to be open about questioning that. Like, does this even serve me? Does this kind of relationship, this love-hate relationship with food, does this even serve me? Does this help me become the best person that I can possibly be? The best mom I can be, the best wife, the best, career woman, professional, whether you're a boss, you're a manager, whatever your roles are, you have several roles in your life. And does the behavior in that push and pull with food help you with that? Or is it actually part of what's holding you back? So thank you for tuning in today. And if you have anything else you want to share, again, I understand this is like sensitive stuff. Not everyone wants to share their vulnerable, food issues. So again, book some time with me. Let's talk. I would love to talk to you. It's no judgment. And I'm not gonna say this program is right for you if I don't actually believe that it is. So it's just like an exploratory meeting, and for us to be able to talk real for a few minutes, which could be a relief in your life. Maybe you're tired of having to push it down or pretend like it's not a problem and cover it up all the time. That can be exhausting, really, really exhausting and draining. So maybe, even if you're just looking for a place to be like, I just need to get this out because I've been holding it in and lying to myself and lying to everybody else. And that is a lot. That's a big burden to carry. So, all right. So thanks for watching. Thank you on the replay, my replay viewers. If you're here with me live, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Share this video. Even if you share this in a private message to a friend or maybe another group that you're in, if you think it's going to help some other women please share it. This message is really important. I'm really, really tired of the diet and fitness industry trying to talk us into becoming less, not becoming more. It is, how thin can you be? You don't fit in. This is wrong with you. I'm sick of it. I'm really sick of it. And I need your help in sharing the truth. The truth that you have the right to speak your mind and speak your truth, and that you're here to be the best version of you that you could possibly be. And dieting is restrictive and holding you back. So it's time to break free of that. And instead look to food for nurturing purposes, and to satisfy our emotional health, our mental health, and our physical health, even spiritual health, I will say. So it's those 4 elements that are severely lacking in any discussion around nutrition and food in our society, in our culture. So I'm asking for your help in sharing this message so we can get over that and we can start talking about more important things in life. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't want to talk about calorie counting and counting your macros. How fucking boring is that? I want to talk about, I'm creating a product. I'm bringing a product to market. I'm like changing people's lives. I love creating things, building things, sharing things. And you do too. That's the stuff we need to be talking about. How you're helping your kids be the best people they can be, and the role that you're playing in that. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about bullshit with diets, right? So let's talk about the heart of you, getting to that. All right. Okay. So I've said my piece on that for now. Again, thank you for being here, and thank you for being you. All right. Have a great day.